Shadow Pidgeot committing to that Gust farm down, leaving with the Brave Bird. The opponent already down one Protect Shield and we are full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. After a small break, I'll be honest, mostly for my own sanity and mental health, we are back at regular content on the channel. Today we have the absolute pleasure of shoutcast and my gymbreakers, Team Island teammate Garrycabbage, running a triple shadow, triple flying team in the retro cup. This meta bans steel types, which means flying type damage goes more or less unresisted into the majority of the meta. Both rock and electric also resist flying. However, the most common rock types you're going to see in the Go Battle League, of course, are going to be Carbink and Bastiodon. However, they're both banned due to the sub, steel and fairy typings. Electric types also not that common. However, both Morpeko and Magnezone, some of the more top meta threats, are both banned due to their steel and dark subtypings. So this team might look like a mean team, but it certainly should have some play. With that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we see the battle of the Shadow Flyers. Pidgeot running his legacy move of Gust, going to tear through Dragonite's HP bar, but likewise, Shadow Dragon Breath is no joke. The opponent fire off the Dragon Claw, forcing a Protect Shield. They say switch into Oragaru. We fire off the Brave Bird, forcing our Protect Shield back, and we see the say switch into Gligar. The Season 20 move rebalance specifically had Gligar in mind. Both Wing Attack and Dig did receive nerfs. However, in a meta where Psychic types reign supreme, the combination of Fury Cutter and Night Slash make Gligar once again a top meta threat. Gligar fires off the next Night Slash, removing Oragaru from the field of play. Out comes Dragonite. Dragonite able to Dragon Breath farm us all the way down. Garry sends out Gliscor. Gliscor going to be looking for that one shield. Full Fury Cutter farm down, and the opponent sends out Cresselia. Gliscor, much like his pre-evolution Gligar, has received not one but two nerfs in recent seasons. It's got access to Wing Attack and of course Earthquake, now does less damage. Again, we're opting for that Fury Cutter and Night Slash combination, which should be pretty advantageous in this matchup, but Cresselia's bulk holding strong. We fire off the Night Slash, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Garry makes a savage catch, catching back onto Pidgeot. The opponent fire off the Grass Knot. We don't see an undercharge. The opponent tries to return the favour, making a catch of their own. Garry like, nah. We Fury Cutter farm down Dragonite, leaving with the double Night Slash. The first isn't quite lethal, but we're doubled up. And the second one is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Very, very nice endgame. Heading into the next battle. We see another battle of Shadow Flying types. The opponent say switches into Dunsparce, interestingly running Astonish. This is a fighting type bait out if I ever did see one. I think I saw Homesize Henry upload a video with an Astonished Dunsparce looking to punish Annihilate counter swaps. However, we don't have an Annihilate, we've got Gligar. I think Astonish is actually probably more advantageous into this matchup as well, as Astonish is going to do a lot more raw damage than Rollout. It looks like Dunsparce going to cleanly win the zero shield scenario. However, Garry happy to concede switch, knowing the Astonish is going to be double resisted into Pidgeot. The opponent not wanting to give Pidgeot too much free farm, send back out Lugia. We bank our energy and send out Gliscor. Gliscor going to fire off the Night Slash, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Lugia only has nukes. Well, I say nuke. Sky Attack's its cheapest move. It now does more damage for more energy. And Shadow and Shadow Crime, we certainly do not want to tank one. Garry overfarms before firing off the next Night Slash. Night Slash goes unshielded, removing Lugia from the field of play. Unsurprisingly, the opponent's final Pokemon is also weak to fighting. I know a bait out mon when I see one. We fire off the Night Slash. We don't see the boost, so Garry pivots back out into Pidgeot. Fires off the Feather Dance, which the opponent manages to call, but at this point they're very susceptible to getting fast move beat down. We see Garry invest the final Protect Shield, blocking up the Hyper Beam. Holy, I did not see that one coming. Huge Protect Shield deployed. Pidgeot fires off yet another Feather Dance, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent resets their debuff, sending out Dunsparce. The opponent recognises they're going to get farmed down, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see another Dunsparce in the lead, this time running its more conventional quick move of Rollout. We see the say switch into Gligar. Gligar fires off the Night Slash, and again we don't see any boost. Of course, Night Slash only comes with a 12.5% chance of a boost, which is technically 1 out of 8 times you'd expect to see the boost. However, I hear a little rumour, if you pray to them RNG gods daily, it's more like a 50-50 chance. The opponent saves their Dunsparce and pivot out into Talonflame, aka the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. This time we're opting for the Air Relator to do more raw damage. We then see the pivot into Pidgeot, looking for the Gust Knight, which we're unable to get before the opponent fires off a charge move. We shield up the Fly, Pidgeot does get that Gust farm down. Back out comes Dunsparce. A non-stab rock slide from this range will not be lethal, so they see the instant no shield deployed. The Gust tearing through Dunsparce. We're able to reach the Feather Dance, which will probably be lethal from this range. Feather Dance forces the opponent's final protection, then send out Cresselia, getting a Psycho Cut running start. The opponent might have thought, with the first bat out the way, the home and dry again, we see Garry make a savage catch, catching back onto Gligar. You know what the motto on this channel is: stay in school, kids, and learn to count. Counting is paramount if you're looking to rank up in the Go Battle League. Another paramount thing is having a playable game state. We're not really going to touch upon that too much in this video, as I think I spoke about that enough yesterday, but Niantic, fix your game. This next Grass Knot won't be lethal, but the opponent does go for the wham, bam, combo play, pivot into Dunsparce, and the rock slide is going to be enough to get the opponent over the line. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see another battle of Shadow Flying types. The Shadow Gust damage is absurd. The opponent already finds himself below half health after only tanking 3 Gusts. We shield up the RETEO, look to fire off the Feather Dance, removing Gyarados from the field of play. The opponent catches the Feather Dance onto Oragaru, and the Oragaru save switch is swiftly answered by Gligar. As the opponent's debuff, this is going to be an absolute miserable matchup for the opponent. We see Garry beautifully managing his energy, farming up close to 100 energy before firing off the Night Slash, removing Oragaru from the field of play. Finally, we see the boost. Let's go. Back out comes Gyarados. Gyarados instantly going to be greeted with the Night Slash. Night Slash forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We look to fire off the next Night Slash, but lose CMP. Garry elects to let Gligar go down, sends out Gliscor, looks to the resisted, Fury Cutter farm down the opponent, sends out Superior, and this Grass Snake is in so much trouble. The opponent fire off the Aerial Ace, look at the Gust damage. The opponent's already below half health before the second Aerial Ace is reached. Aerial Ace removes Pidgeot from the field of play. Gliscor gonna overfarm before firing off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace certainly will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're able to outpace to the second Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace going to be removing Superior from the field of play. Gyarados is so low, we're going to be able to resist Fury Cutter farm down and take that game. Garry finds himself the dream lead in the next battle, and of course the opponent save switches into Dunsparce. My god, I am so fed up of seeing this bloody thing in Season 20. On the plus side, Season 20 is almost drawing to a close. We've got around 7 days left, and I think we're well overdue a little sneaky preview of what Niantic has in store for us next season. I think it's fairly safe to assume that the shake-up's going to be quite minor, nowhere near like the one we had for Season 20. Niantic seems to do like a big meta shake-up at the end of the Play Pokemon season, which of course is a full 12 months. Regardless of how big or small it is, it's going to be exciting. Any move update always piques interest, and I cannot wait. Garry happy to concede switch advantage, knowing the entire team all have flying type coverage, going to be very good into jump bluff. It looks like Garry committing to that very aggressive Fury Cutter farm down. The opponent actually pivots back out into jump bluff. We see the pivot back into Pidgeot, and Pidgeot is about to go to Farm Town. We're going to fire off the Feather Dance. A Feather Dance will be lower in jump bluffs. Already pretty pathetic damage output. The opponent already had enough, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see Clodsire in the lead. I'm anticipating us going for an attempted Stone Edge catch, although catching with a 4-turn move is not a particularly easy feat. We see the pivot into Gligar. The opponent answers our Gligar save switch with Cresselia, which is certainly an interesting choice. Gligar has a heavy pacing advantage in this matchup and is also in for super effective the entirety of the time. We see the instant no shield from Garry. The opponent fire off the Grass Knot. I expect to see Garry fire off the Night Slash before the next Grass Knot's reached. Interesting enough, it looks like Garry might be looking for the aggressive Fury Cutter farm down. Can we get it? Garry, not wanting to risk it, is going to fire off the Night Slash. At this point, he is doubled up with the opponent unlikely to shield. Night Slash secures the knockout. Of course, we don't have Dig in this matchup. The opponent does not know that they opt to send out Primeape. Oh boy, do they know about the Aerial Ace coverage? Aerial Ace near picks up the one shot. We see the Night Slash bank the attempted snipe with Pidgeot unsuccessfully. Garry going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the Sludge Bomb, and that is very good information to know. No one in their right mind is running Sludge Bomb and Stone Edge, so at worst, the opponent's only going to hit us with debuff Sludge Bombs from this point forward. Gliscor is also going to completely wall this moveset, meaning this game is essentially signed, sealed, and delivered. The opponent going to fire off one further Sludge Bomb, securing the knockout. We send out Gliscor, and I really am anticipating the opponent conceding the match. They actually pivot into Primeape. Wincon, perhaps they have Ice Punch, it's just a Rage Fist. We Fury Cutter farm all the way down, and there is the top left. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Oragaru in the lead. 2 better response in the backs of Garry, save switches into Gligar, baiting out what else other than Dunsparce. You'll notice Garry did throw an alignment there. I'll be honest, I absolutely hate rollout. This animation confuses the life out of me, and I know I'm not the only one. I honestly don't understand. When the hell you're meant to throw? The animation looks like it's delayed or something. What I've started doing when facing a rollout user is actually counting my own quick move, which is kind of unconventional for me, as I'm normally looking at the opponent's fast move animation, knowing when to throw, but it kind of is what it is. It's the only way to not end up throwing on bloody alignment. The opponent does maintain switch advantage, but at the cost of a Protect Shield. Garry happy to take his shield advantage and send out Gliscor. Gliscor tanks the Rock Slide. Garry this time doesn't commit to the aggressive Fury Cutter farm down. Instead, gonna fire off the Night Slash, maintaining health and fishing for that boost. Again, the RNG gods say no. Out comes Primeape. We see the pivot into Pidgeot, and we find ourselves back in this opening matchup. But this time, Garry has a 2-to-1 shield advantage. We shield at the Brutal Swing. We're going to return fire with the Feather Dance. A Feather Dance won't be lethal. It does come with a 100% chance to debuff the opponent's attack. That debuff will mean that any one move will not knock us out from here. The opponent fire off the Brutal Swing. Pidgeot looking for that Gust farm down, which we get. Back out comes Primeape. The opponent does throw an alignment. I'd definitely be shielding. Garry agrees. Shielding up the Rage Fist, and we are full sending the Brave Bird. Does the opponent respect the damage? Brave Bird forces the final Protect Shield. We send out Gliscor, reach the Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace is going to be all she wrote. GG's. In the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Fracture. Dragon is unresisted in this meta. Fracture, without a doubt, one of the glassiest dragon types in the meta. You can see the Gust damage already got the opponent below half health. We shield up the Night Slash. The opponent's going to get fully farmed down if they don't pivot. It's actually us that makes the pivot into Gligar, and the opponent responds with their own Gligar. We fire off the Night Slash. Garry, you are getting no luck. You really do need to start praying to them RNG gods. The opponent fires off the Night Slash again. They don't get the boost. Garry this time, like, fuck it. I'm just going to go for the hard-hitting Aerial Ace. It's not too often when I say Aerial Ace is actually a hard-hitting move, but it does do slightly more than a non-stab Night Slash. Night Slash is 0.71 DP compared to Aerial Ace's 0.8. Hence I call it Aerial Ace, a pretty pathetic move considering we're getting same type attack bonus. Garry fires off the next Night Slash, forcing a Protect Shield. Garry just going to let Gligar go down. The opponent fires off the Night Slash. Again, we don't see the boost. Garry sends out Gliscor, looks for the Fury Cutter farm down. I have no idea why the opponent sent out Fracture. We were nowhere near a move, and then the opponent very strangely conceded the match. I don't really know what to say other than let's move swiftly on. We lead Pidgeot into Artivax. This team is triple weak to ice, or you could even say 5 times weak to ice, because both Gliscor and Gligar are double weak to ice. We tank the Avalanche, which means we are not off to the best start. Garry sends out Gligar. Gligar fires off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace isn't quite lethal, but able to Fury Cutter farm down afterwards. Thankfully, with the Ice type out of the way, it looks like the opponent doesn't really have a great answer for either of our bats as they send out Oragaru. We see the Protect Shield deployed before returning fire with the Night Slash. Night Slash goes unshielded. We then see the pivot into Gliscor, looking to get a running start. This must be a double confusion team. The opponent fires off the Brutal Swing. There is the second confusion type, Shadow Girafarig, insanely glassy. The opponent going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Night Slash. Gliscor able to reach the next Night Slash. The opponent will be investing the final Protect Shield here and looking for the full confusion farm down, which they get. Garry's win con should be pretty straightforward from here. Do not allow the opponent to catch, which should be pretty easy as they're using a 4-turn move. Garry fires off the Night Slash, removing Giraffe from the field of play. Back out comes the Orangutan. We Fury Cutter farm down and take that game. I think I've probably got these battles out of order as they were sent individually, but you can see Garry chalked up a very nice 5-0 around 3000 elo. Heading into the next battle, we see Dunsparce in the lead. This time we throw one Gust before pivoting into Gligar. We get a whole heap of frame drops, but I don't really think that affected too much in the grand scheme of things. The opponent opts to send out Tropius into a loaded Gligar, which is a pretty interesting choice. I guess the thought process is keep this thing as far away from Pidgeot as you physically can. The opponent invests the protection with the Aerolase, fire off the Leaf Blade. Gligar holds strong on a sliver of HP, reach the next Aerolase, getting this flying banana tree below half health. This now sets up a very nice farm down for Pidgeot. At worst, the opponent can either hit us with an Aerolase or a Brutal Swing, a move they got access to this season. The opponent fire off the Brutal Swing, Pidgeot gets the Gust farm down, leaving with the Brave Bird, and we are full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They get rocked very deep into the red and then send out Oragaru. Garry with a 2-to-1 shield advantage once again looks home and dry. We fire off the Night Slash. The opponent shields the first move again, something I wouldn't recommend doing, as of course it does come with a 12.5% chance of getting the boost. Garry's boost luck has been pretty much non-existent in today's showcase, but Gliscor not going to need any boost to clean up. My god, I talked that one into existence. We get the boost, opt the Fury Cutter farm down and take that game. In the next battle, we see Dreadon in the lead. I cannot be the only person that thinks this thing is in the wrong game. That definitely looks more like a Digimon than a Pokemon. The opponent safe switches into Charger Bug, and they are very quickly going to live to regret that decision as they find themselves counter swap with a Gligar. Due to Gligar's ground flying typing, we're going to fully wall the more conventional moveset of Volt Switch, Discharge and X-Scissor. They could of course run Crunch, but it doesn't really make too much sense, as most things Crunch can do, X-Scissor can also do at a cheaper cost with same type attack bonus. Gligar able to maintain switch advantage, leaving with the Aerolase, getting this Digimon looking thing below half health. We send out Pidgeot, Pidgeot going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Dragon Claw. Out comes Oragaru. I hate Feather Dance, but I definitely think Feather Dance is the correct move to throw here. Even if the opponent doesn't shield, you just want to debuff this monkey and then send out Gliscor. With this debuff, the opponent's going to have a near impossible task of removing Gliscor from the field of play. The opponent fire off the Trailblaze, looking to boost up their attack, but it's simply too little too late. The opponent invests the Protect Shield, blocking up the first Night Slash, but already the second, and the second will be removing the Oragaru from the field of play. We again get the boost, which is kind of unnecessary, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see Defense Deoxys in the lead, a Pokemon very much suffering from the counter nerf, meaning their cheapest move and now takes 6 counters when it used to only be 5. The opponent fires off the Psycho Boost, then pivot out into Dugong. I'm not really sure why the opponent opted to throw the Psycho Boost at Gligar when they got such a hard counter in the form of Dugong. I think the much better play would have been the opponent banking that energy, potentially for the end game. I'm sure someone's already written in the comment section, Dugong says hi. How does this team deal with Dugong? Well, I guess we're about to find out. We shield up the ICU in, fire off the Feather Dance, lowering Dugong's damage output. The opponent already the next ICU in, and Garry's going all in on Pidgeot. Oh boy. The Gust not doing anywhere near as much as we would like. Garry actually goes for the Brave Bird, looking to remove the opponent from the field of play. The opponent actually catches onto Defense Deoxys, and we send out Gliscor. This is going to set up a very nice Fury Cutter farm down for Gliscor, but unfortunately, the opponent still will Protect Shield to hide behind, which I'm almost certain they'll be investing here. And this one is going to end in defeat. Unfortunately, Dugong, very, very good into everything we're running. It kind of is what it is. The opponent pivots into Oragaru, get the confusion farm down, and we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's showcase. Huge shout out to Garrycabbage for submitting a very fun triple shadow, triple flying team in the Retro Cup. While we're on that subject, shout out Team Island. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If like Garry, you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.